Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a mid-year reading update book tag video. This video is completely inspired by Rachel Catherine and Katie Woodbrook. I think that's how you say it. Go check out their channels. I am obsessed with both of them. Let's get into it because I have a lot to talk about. Starting with the basic questions. How many books have I read so far? This year I've read 33 books so far, which is actually pretty good for me. Am I on track with my reading goal? Yes, I am. I'm actually 10 books ahead of my reading goal. My reading goal was 50 this year. I'm predicted to get to 60 books. I hope so. I would love to read 60 books. That would be way more than I've ever read. I am like not a new reader, but new to reading like this much over the past like 2-ish years. It would be really cool if one year I got to 100 books. I might try and do that next year, but who knows. The next question is, how many 5 stars have I given this year and what books are they? I've given a total of 8 out of 33 books 5 stars, which is really good actually. I actually think that's really good. So let's go through them really fast. I'm gonna like just say the names because they'll probably pop up in other questions because I like them a lot. So first we have Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. Also, these are completely out of order. Amelia Park's Into the Dark by Jessa Hastings. Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. Beach Read by Emily Henry. A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. And The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. So those are all of the books that I've given 5 stars, and as I went back and like looked at them, I was like, oh my gosh, I literally miss being in the worlds of those books so much. They're just my favorite worlds to be in. Alright, moving on. Next is favorite book of the year so far. This is like a really hard one, and I was going back and forth between 2 books, but I'm gonna tell you one. I ended up choosing Magnolia Park's Into the Dark. I genuinely like, I needed this book. I needed this long book so bad. I just want to give it a hug forever. You don't understand, unless you've read this series and gotten to this book, you don't understand how much closure is in this book, how much heartbreak is also in this book. My cat is eating my books. There's just so much that I needed from this, and it definitely gave exactly what I needed. This series will forever be my favorite. It just holds such a place in my heart, and I'm forever obsessed with it, so I had to choose Into the Dark, and I cannot wait another like 3 years for the next book. There's no way. Alright, next book is the best sequel that I've read so far, and for that question I chose Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. I also read the first book this year, and I thought it was okay. I gave it pretty sure 3.5 stars, but this book was so good. It was like a 4.5 for me. I just remember being obsessed with the ending and loving the characters so much more. Like, I felt way more connected to them throughout this book, and overall I am glad that I read them both because the first one is definitely like you need to understand everything that's going on, and then this one just wraps up so nicely and it's just perfect. I love everything about it. I actually grew to love this world. In the first book I was like, this world's a little too dark and eerie for me. After reading this one, I grew to love it so much more. So I definitely think this is a really great sequel. Alright, the next question is a release I haven't read yet but really want to. Most of these are, actually all of these are not out yet, but I really want to read Reckless, which is the second book after Powerless. I think it comes out July 2nd, so that's really soon, and I'm so excited for that one. And then I'm really excited, it comes out tomorrow, is A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. I also read The 7-Year Slip this year and really liked it. Lastly that I can think of right now is Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. I loved Better Than the Movies last year, and I thought it was so sweet and cute. So I'm really interested to see what she's going to do for the sequel to it. The question is, what book has been the biggest surprise? Let me tell you. I will tell you what has been the biggest surprise. 100% The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna has been the biggest surprise throughout, I think, like all of my reading journey so far. I fell so in love with this book. Like, I don't even know. Just look at my TikTok and you can see me crying my eyes out about this book. My YouTube video where I read different genres for a week. I never thought I would like historical fiction, but this is like the other book that I was gonna say was my favorite of the year. I don't know. I really need to get into more Kristen Hanna because I feel like I would like all of her books. Her writing is impeccable, and just everything about this book is honestly so perfect. If you haven't read it or it's on your TBR, I definitely recommend this book. So beautiful in so many ways, and I think everyone definitely needs to give it a try. I think this is a book that everyone can like. The next question is if I have any new favorite authors. Again, I'm gonna say Kristen Hanna. I don't really know if I can say that because this is the only book I've read by her. I definitely plan to get more soon, like when it comes to be fall. I would love to binge all of her books. So I guess I can't really say this yet, but another one I'm gonna say is Abby Jimenez, which once again I've only read 2 books by her, but I have really liked the 2 that I read. I read Part of Your World also this year. I really liked that, and then I read this one, gave it 5 stars obviously. I really need to read Yours Truly, but I feel like any book by her now is just an auto buy. Alright, next we have new favorite book characters, and I actually have a lot. I'm once again just gonna go through them super quickly. Alright, so first I have Miles from Funny Story. I just thought he was so chill, and he was like so nonchalant in a way that was like good. I don't really know how to describe it, but if you read this book then you understand what I'm talking about. I don't know, I just loved how Emily Henry described him, and like, I don't know, he just seemed so like calm and collected, but like also like really cool and like witty, and I don't know, he just had all the good characteristics. I think like he was really chill, and that's exactly what Daphne needed. I didn't describe that very well. I didn't make him seem very likable, but he's just likable to me. I don't know. Character is Ada from Swift and Saddled. First of all, loved this book so much. I don't know what it was, but I was obsessed with it. It sounds so bad, like a pick me, but she's not like the other girl book characters in my opinion. Like, she is there for a job. She wants to get that job done. She doesn't want any man in her way. She just knows what she wants, and she is not gonna let like some man just walk all over her. But she wasn't like rude or anything, you know what I mean? She just like knew what she wanted and what she deserved, and I love when girls are like that in books. I think you don't need to be just like walked all over and like just the pretty, dainty, quirky girl all the time. Like, you can have some self-respect. She definitely made Weston become the man that she needed, if you know what I mean. But like in a good way. Like, I love this couple so much. They're definitely still together, in my opinion. Okay, another character that I fell in love with is Adina from the novella After Powerless. When I read Powerless, I always thought she was like a cute character, like a really good side character. But reading this, like, and her being the main character of this story, I fell in love with her. It's just so sweet, it means so well. A little love interest thing going on was so adorable between them, and I just think she's perfect, and she deserved this novella. We have 3 more characters, don't worry, and 2 are from the same book. So, from Beach Read, Gus and January were so amazing as characters. Their chemistry, amazing. Like, chemistry in the sense of their banter, the way that they just, like, were enemies. It just flowed so well, and I don't know, they're just amazing. I love this couple till the day that I die, and I love this book till the day that I die, and I love Emily Henry till the day that I die. So I just think any character she writes honestly is just amazing, and these 2, they really ate it up. Okay, lastly we have Justin from Just for the Summer. If your quality time is acts of service, like, I'm talking about little gestures and like when they just think about you, things like that, read this book, because Justin executed the acts of service role amazingly. He would do all these little things, which I'm not going to spoil obviously, but it was just so adorable, everything he did. Like, he would make little surveys after their dates. He would ask her all of the details on what she wanted. Like, I don't know, it was just perfect. And then his effort throughout the whole book needs to be applauded. Like, he is such an amazing character. Thank you, Abby Jimenez, for this character. Okay, next we have a book that made me cry the most. I really truly hate to bring it up again, but it's gotta be The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I was not okay. I've never sobbed this hard over a book, let alone something like in real life in such a long time like that. It just made me feel everything, pulled on my heartstrings so hard that I literally was sobbing till I couldn't breathe. Is a book that made me happy. I actually have 2 for this one. So I have Everything I Know About Love. First of all, this book on audiobook 1000% recommend. My favorite audiobook ever. It made me laugh so hard, like out loud. I was laughing. This is a memoir that takes you through Dolly Alderton and all of her experiences with love. She did some really funny things and it just made me happy, and normally memoirs make me really sad. You kind of feel at home reading this book. I have Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. When I read this book, I was so sick on vacation, so I was so sad because I couldn't do all the fun things. Read this and the banter in this book made me laugh. The things that were said and done were just so like whimsical and magical, and generally I just had a great time reading this book. It was so adorable. I need to pick up the second one. Highly recommend if you want like a chill fantasy that's not high stakes. I definitely recommend it when you're sick. Alright, so next is a book I need to get to before 2024 is over. And I actually have 2 physical copies of these. And I have the final book in the Dirty Air series, which is Redeemed. This is like a F1 racing romance series. But I literally started this book, I think started the series in 2023, like really early on, and I just now read the 3rd one like a few books ago. Really need to finish off the 4th one. Also, I've heard this is like everyone's favorite, so I'm excited for it. Then I want to get to Love Redesigned. I've heard amazing things about this, also from Lauren Asher. The next book in the series just came out. Next question is, what books do I want to reread this year? So I only have 2, and the first one I want to reread actually in summertime, and that's Happy Place by Emily Henry. When I read this, I was a little bit younger. I guess it was like last year, which obviously I'm not that much older, but I really want to see how I would like this book now, because when I read it I was like, this is nothing special. Why is everyone so obsessed with it? As life went on, I have been thinking about this book so much, and I feel like summertime will be the perfect time to read this book, because I didn't read it in the summertime before, and maybe that affected my reading. I just think I wasn't really in the mood for it, and I was on a plane while I was reading it, so it was like the only thing I had access to. I want to go back into this book and annotate it and just, I don't know, reevaluate my opinions. In like fall or winter or whatever, I really want to reread the first Magnolia Parks book. I just really want to experience this again. I was gonna say for the first time, but for the second time, unfortunately. I just miss this world more than anything ever that I've missed. I feel like if I reread it, I'll probably end up rereading the whole series though. But honestly, no complaints. Is there any books that I've been putting off? Yes, kind of. Not like that much, but the first one, I don't have the physical copy, which is why I'm putting it off, and that's Emily Wilde's I think it's The Map of the Other Lands. That's because they only have it in hard copy right now, and I really want it to match my paperback of Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I do want to read that book, but I'm just waiting till it comes out in paperback. So Crooked Kingdom, I really want to get to it in the fall time. I've been putting it off because, one, it took me I think like 4 years to finally pick up Six of Crows, and I obviously don't want that to happen again with this one. Six of Crows wasn't my favorite. I don't know, I think if I read it like when I bought it a few years ago, I would have liked it more. I don't know. I've heard that this one's better though, so I am excited for it. This is a book I enjoyed that has mixed reviews, and I have the perfect one for this. So Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. This is the second to Divine Rivals, and I actually gave this book 5 stars, and I know that people hate this book so much. I see everyone's reviews and what they say on TikTok and everything, and everyone's like, oh, there's no romance, blah blah blah, like it's boring. But I think my favorite part about these books is like the world of it, and like the war that's going on, all that's happening was so interesting to me that I obviously like cared about the romance in the first book. It was like super cute and stuff and high stakes, but I don't know, there's something about me that really loved just the world building, and I might rate it lower. Like I probably would give it now like a 4 or 4.5 maybe. I don't necessarily remember the ending. I also read the first one and this one back to back, so I probably in my mind was like, oh, it's literally the same book, like, you know what I mean? Just like each of these in one day. But I did really like it, and I know a lot of people hate it. Next is a series I want to finish before the end of the year. I want to step into the world of Throne of Glass so badly. I finally finished A Court of Silver Flames like a few months ago, and I was putting it off for like a year, and now I can start this. I'm so excited to know what everyone is talking about and is obsessed with. I simply cannot wait, and I'm so happy I finally bought the first book so I can hold myself accountable. I don't think I'll get to it this summer, but probably September-ish, maybe October. Okay, so next is 5-star predictions for the rest of the year. I'm gonna say number 1, Throne of Glass series. 2, I predicted I'll rate Happy Place 5 stars once I reread it. And number 3, The Woman by Kristen Hanna. I've gotten so many recommendations for that. And then honestly, any other book by her, I'm guessing. I don't know. Our last question is book-related goals. I only have a few. I guess it's just 1, finish my reading goal, which I think I will do. And then next, I want to read some classics. I bought a classic. I have Little Women now, and I've read a few classics, but not much compared to the other things I've read. They're really interesting me currently, so I need to read them while I'm interested, because other than that, if I'm not interested, I'll just probably be bored of the classic. So if anyone has good classic recommendations, you should let me know. And then I also want to get into more historical fiction. The one book that I read made me want to only read that genre forever, because I just felt something. And I also want to continue to make book content, like YouTube videos like this and TikToks, things like that. I just love doing it so much and keeping track of what I'm reading so I can remember what I felt while I was reading those certain books, because I don't know, I read so many books, I might as well keep track of how I felt, because I always forget books. I always forget what happens in them, so it's nice to have videos to go back and see how I was feeling while I was reading them. Anyways, that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!